Hello and welcome to Unstuck. My name is Andri Søren. I'm a musician and a photographer, amongst other things. And this is all about being a creative person, about dealing with some of the mental baggage that goes along with that, but also just talking about creativity in general. It's been 6 years since I left my job as an architect, and it's been quite a journey, and a lot of things I'm going to talk about relate to that journey that I've already had, but also the one I'm still having right now. And this is a special episode because I'm in love. Yeah, I said it. But this isn't your fresh, 18-month long crazy love. Nope. This is something which has been going on for 6 going on 7 years. And this is the object of my affection. Push. What is Push, I hear some of you ask? Probably not many of you, but some of you. It is basically a controller, let's say, something which allows you to play musical instruments and notes on a piece of software called Ableton, and it's made by the same company. And it really is something which deserves the title of an instrument, even though it doesn't make any noise itself. But this video is not about explaining how this thing works. I have other videos about that, and I do hope to come back to it more. It's more just recognizing that there's something amazing when you can say that one instrument like this can change your life so much, and it really has. This story starts, if I recall correctly, around 2013, when Ableton launched Push 1. We're now already on Push 2, voila. And the concept has stayed largely the same. It's basically something which lets you touch and take control of all of the sounds that you have in a computer and really turn it into an instrument. And that's already something great. And I have to say, at the moment that I saw it, immediately, it was love at first sight, if I've got to use that sort of terminology. I knew that it answered so many questions, and it gave me so much access to the kind of things that I wanted to control, but were impossible to really do with what was available. And so there's a fun story about that. I basically bombarded Ableton with emails until they answered very politely. And I was instructed by the local representative for the Benelux where to go to pick up my first, model of this thing. And there were only 3 coming into the country at that time. And basically I was there at the shop at the moment the first one arrived. And so I think I have the distinction of having bought the first one in Belgium and probably the Benelux, and having also made a name for myself with some of the Ableton staff. All of which would then later lead to something really cool, which is that I would become an Ableton product specialist, and I would be sent from place to place to give workshops, to talk about my passion for this device, and not be like a traveling salesman, but just tell people what I love about it, which was an honor and also something which was just so much fun. And I thought, wow, you can talk about the thing you love and get paid for it? Good times. But I'll talk about those days and weeks and months and years some other time in another video. And aside from that experience, which was really fantastic, I had all these other experiences which I can trace right back to the moment when I got this instrument. It's the one where a few weeks after having my first, sort of use of the device or the instrument, let's say, is that I realized that it gave me the possibility to just improvise on the go, just basically create a kind of flow of ideas and layer them on top of each other like I just had never experienced before. So already a great start. And that was only the beginning, because the most important thing that this has ever done is it's released me creatively, musically, and that it's allowed me to do the thing which I recognized at some point was the thing I enjoyed the most, which is to enjoy the moment of creation and to improvise fluidly and to layer ideas on top of each other and just get into a real state of flow. And I can't overstate the amazing moments that I've had on stage in front of 10 people, 100 people, 1,000, 2,000 people, just making music from nothing with this. It's just epic. And the other thing which it gave me was this channel, basically, because when I started sharing some videos about this creative process that I had that had been unleashed in me with Push, was that suddenly there were all these people saying, hey, that's cool. And how are you doing it? And again, I need to make so many videos about that whole process. But in the, the short story is basically that I understood that what this allowed me to do was something which both I enjoyed so much, and apparently also other people too. And that even now and then it might even be something special or not particularly common. And I don't mean just what I was doing, but the fact that you could get into this kind of creative flow thanks to something like that. And instead of doing the normal, mouse click and keyboard press to make music, or involving, 20 different pieces of hardware, that you could set up something like this and just basically go flying through sound and music. And if you've never seen those videos before, and this all sounds like a lot of hyperbole and too good to be true, well, I can only let those videos speak for what I have been able to do with Push, and that's it. I'm not going to say anything more than that. This is my personal experience of the thing, and it's been, as you have already probably worked out, a real liberation. There's something else I would add about it, which I find also really interesting and basically applies to anything we do creatively, and that's the fact that through its design, which looks in a way complex, but actually on the face of it is relatively simple and not that deep, let's say, in a positive sense, is that it reduces the number of choices you have and limits you to certain possibilities, or you could even say tasks. And by doing so, it frees you up to really focus on those and to, not fight all of the battles at the same time, but choose a few and hopefully win those. And I'm starting to realize this could all sound like marketing for Ableton, and it is absolutely not the case. I swear, not a sponsored video. I will make no profit from this at all unless you watch lots of adverts or something. I wanted to make this because it's like eulogizing about a piano or a violin or about singing in a choir. For me, it's the same thing. It deserves that level of respect, and it's something I can say has, like I say, changed my life, given me a mode of expression I didn't know I could have or didn't know how to get there. And again, that could sound so kind of smarmy or something, but it really, really is true. And I knew it the moment I saw it. And if anything, if, for example, Push is not your thing, then I think what I would say is that you know it, like the moment you find the thing that clicks with you, and be that an instrument or be that something which allows you a certain creative flow, you will know it. And man, when you find that thing, jump on it and save up what you need to get it. I remember saving up for my first one, and you won't regret it, I swear. So if anything, I would say don't believe the marketing hyperbole. Don't believe the promises that are made. Try to give it a test. That's the purpose of what I used to do. I would go and show people in the shops like how to use it basically, and give them an idea of what was possible. And I never did some kind of hard sell and saying, yeah, this is the thing for you. So many things are not for you. It's really the case. I mean, with the millions of things that are offered to us and the new products every year, I think it's a nightmare. And if anything, having just the one is such a relief because you don't need to think about all the rest. I love nerding about all that stuff. I love checking it all out. It's super interesting. But I'm not tempted really at all because I found my thing. I found my weapon of choice. It's the thing which lets me do what I need to do. And through recognizing that thanks to its limitations, I am focusing on a few things, it's basically just perfect. It's a perfect fit for me. With that all said, I'm making music with a computer. I am asking processor to calculate millions and millions of frequencies and waveforms and all kinds of other things that are bouncing around in a theoretical virtual space. And that has its downsides. It's amazing that we can do that with just one computer, even quite a modest one. But the whole thing that brings up is that it's all in that computer somewhere and that you need to access it. And I will repeat myself in saying, Ableton Push is the thing which allowed me to reach in and grab those synthesizers, those virtual sounds, and choose which ones I would make, sort of part of my arsenal, to take the war metaphor a bit further, and master them and get some kind of muscle memory over them. Because what I think is so problematic about having 5, 6 different synthesizers or 3 or 4 different controllers is that you've decided to fight so many battles that you're going to constantly be context switching between them. And again, I'm not just trying to tell you that this thing is for you. I just want to tell you why I like it. And the reason is it doesn't have that many buttons. It's only got a few possibilities you can use it for. It does have a screen and allows you to control different parameters to a certain extent of your choosing. But that's it. That does bring me very neatly to the fact that in Ableton Live, you then need to set up your live set in such a way that it can benefit from those choices and that you've limited yourself to certain things and that you're not changing it all the time. And that takes some work. I'm not going to tell you that you buy, or you get an Ableton Push and then it, like magic, you're going to be flying through the skies of musical creativity in no time. Because some of the stuff in there I think is redundant. I mean, it has a library for checking out sounds and stuff, which I think is, they tried to come up with a solution for something, but it doesn't help me, and it's way too slow a process for me to use. Although that's not true for everybody. What works for me is setting up a live set that I don't change and that I use creatively, that I use as basically my selection of paints on a palette, if we talk about it like a painter, and I just start painting with those. And I don't start going in there and changing stuff. That's exactly not the point. In fact, the best thing is to make a simple version of a live set that you want in Ableton Live, and then iterate on it over time and notice the things that you're missing. And this is a whole topic unto itself. What I wanted to do with this video was to make a short, simple declaration of love, admiration, gratitude for something which has really liberated me musically. So all in all, I think that's a pretty good innings, as they would say. And talking about cricket, yeah, who talks about cricket? Not me, actually. So why did I say that? Oh well, too late. No, I'll leave such nonsense like that in sometimes so you see what it's like making these videos. All that to say that, one instrument, one box like that, I find it kind of remarkable what it gave me in terms of experiences in life in a really diverse series of settings. And I would repeat, this is not a call for you to go out and get one, not at all. Maybe give one a try if you like. If anything, it's a reminder that limiting yourself to one or maybe 2 things can be so liberating and take you so far. And finding the thing that works for you, that's the most important thing. Other than that, there was no big point to this video other than me to say what's been on my mind for many years and to say thanks, I guess. If I would add anything, and again, this could sound like marketing, all those people that work at that company who came up with this thing, and there are many names to mention, there are human beings behind that thing, and it's a product which has also benefited from being made by a company that really focuses on things. It's not a company that has 50 different products and stops supporting them after a while. It's just working on basically 2.5. The software, Push, and Link is arguably a product unto itself. And that's a fascinating approach. But again, I'm not here to talk about Ableton. I'm here to talk about my dear friend Push, and that's it. So I would say thanks for the good times, Push. So that was the episode on why Ableton Push got me unstuck creatively and musically, and I'm going to leave it there. I hope that you yourselves are finding ways to get unstuck and get into the state of flow that I've been talking about. I hope you come back for future episodes or you check out the music I've been making with Push. And good luck out there. Ciao for now. Forgot one thing. So easy to do so. I would love to hear from you what your experiences have been with anything out there, anything musical, anything creative whatsoever. Please write something in the comments. I'm really enjoying the kind of conversations which are starting down there. and it gives us all perspective on what's going on out there. So yeah, please go get unstuck for all of us. I am Pushman. Hello.